Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is awesome!
Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. You are the Cheap Shot Nation and I am your host Luke, and this is episode number 50 of NXT UK. We're nearly a whole year into the NXT UK brand, and it is getting better and better every single week. So this is everything that happened during that show. I'll give you my rating of the show as well. Generally tend to be around 3 stars out of 5 unless they push the boat out really hard with the main events, which they do tend to do. But you can follow us if you're new here on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook to get different perspectives on all different aspects of wrestling and other sports. We do follow football as well. Incidentally, we're going to be raising some money, some funds through watching football for a charity known as Movember. Something that I do every year is shave my beard off and look like a postman for a month as I grow, or try and grow, a moustache, and you all laugh at me from behind your computers. Anyway, I am going to take you through everything that happened now in NXT number 50. It was at Download Festival and it was aired on the WWE Network on the 3rd of July 2019. And without further ado, let's get into the show. We opened the show this week with a highlights package of the main event. So basically it is the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Mustache Mountain for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. Obviously these two teams fought to become the inaugural Tag Team Champions back in January at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool, with the Grizzled Young Veterans getting better of Mustache Mountain and continuing to carry those championships right the way through to July, which is really cool. That being said, they don't defend them very often, and obviously Zach Gibson has had an injury, so we now get to see those titles defended on a more regular basis, hopefully. So, and with NXT UK TakeOver shows becoming more frequent, hopefully that should happen. So just pushing the boat out, just trying different things at different times and seeing where we can go with that. But at the moment NXT UK is absolutely brilliant, and that is the main event of this show. So we get straight into the show now with Rhea Ripley stomping down to the ring with "This Is Her Brutality," and obviously being at Download Fest, there's lots of people that enjoy that song. Rhea Ripley stomps down to the ring, grabs a microphone and calls out Piper Niven straight away with no sort of intro to it or anything like that. Just stomps down to the ring. "I want my match now." Piper Niven answers that call. She runs down to the ring and the match starts. Very ECW booking here. I wonder if Paul Heyman's had a hand in that booking there. So early on, Ripley is sent to the outside. Piper Niven is very much on top in this one, but having thrown her back in and Piper going after her, this gives Rhea Ripley a chance to be Rhea Ripley. She drops Piper Niven over the ropes and gets an opportunity there to start beating down on Piper Niven. Lots of rest holds, trying to keep the Scot down for a long period of time, to try and take the wind out of her. And hits an inverted cloverleaf. Obviously, in previous, when she's hit this move, and it is a fantastic move, obviously they've been smaller opponents. Piper Niven is quite strong, so she manages to keep herself upright and takes some of the pressure off her back. A lot of pressure on her legs, though. And obviously, being a bigger athlete, she needs her legs for that power. She manages to get to the ropes. The hold is broken. Piper Niven immediately then hits a belly to back suplex, which lands high and tight on Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley does try to hit the riptide. It is blocked by Piper Niven, and Niven catches her with a swift headbutt, a Glasgow kiss into Piper Niven's face, and this leads to Piper Niven hitting the Piper driver for the win. Very convincing win here. Two big hosses of women going at each other, two very strong ladies in NXT UK fighting for supremacy, much like the fight between Eddie Dennis, my boy Eddie Dennis, Eddie Appreciation Day, hashtag Eddie Appreciation Day was on Wednesday, and it went pretty much viral, I think, so that's pretty cool. I have assurances though that Eddie Dennis is going to be coming back to the ring. He just needs to heal up, and I'll be looking forward to that day because he is one of my favourite wrestlers in the UK at this point in time. But yes, it is very much Dave Mastiff versus Eddie Dennis, with two stronger ladies. Fighting for supremacy, fighting to be the big monster in town. However, they haven't taken into consideration Jazzy Gabert, who we'll see later on in the show. But in this match, Piper Niven is your winner over the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. Your winner, once again, is Piper Niven. And so we go on to another squash match, should we say, so we go on to the squash match now, the standard NXT UK squash match. Jack Stars, we've seen him in NXT UK a couple of times, never really gets going in these matches, but I understand he's quite big on the indie scene, so it's always nice to see people coming in from that, against Alexander Wolf, the newest member of Imperium. And yeah, basically, Wolf dominates his match. Jack Stars comes back ever so slightly, but is cut off completely. It is one-way traffic, followed by a Death Valley driver and a sit-out powerbomb for the win for Alexander Wolf. There isn't much more to say about that. It was very short. Necessary match for Alexander Wolf, having not been on telly for a long time. Obviously, with Sanity going bye-bye, with people being moved around, which is a shame, because Sanity were actually really, really good. But there you go. Sometimes these things have to happen when they go up to the main roster. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just being dicks, and yeah, they just split tag teams up and things for no apparent reason. Anyway, squash match. Alexander Wolf wins, and he raises his stock as a member of Imperium. So we go on to another squash match, a ladies' squash match, if you will. It is Jazzy Gabert versus Mercedes and Demi Luna. Of course, these two ladies were part of the training session, the session that WWE invited lots of women's wrestlers from around the country down to a training camp and a trial, basically. It did include the likes of Kanji and Jade as well, which was really cool. Kanji did get a moment to shine in the Women's Battle Royal. These two ladies were in that Women's Battle Royal as well. Unfortunately, Jade picked up an injury during that time. So basically, Jazzy Gabert wins. Anyway, yeah, Jazzy Gabert hits the Dominator. That's it. Jazzy Gabert done. And yeah, squash match again, showing Jazzy Gabert's potential there, but I think she needs a bigger feud. I would like to see her join that fight between Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven in a triple threat match, maybe, which would be really cool. There'd have to be some kind of stipulation there as well, because it'd be three very strong women in the ring together. They'd have to work some kinks out of that, I think. But yeah, quite a short show, really, this week. It didn't run any longer, it just felt a bit shorter, simply because there was 2 squash matches. The first match was really good. The main event is fantastic, and basically that is where we're going now. NXT UK Tag Team Championships on the line, and all of these championships are an absolute mouthful to say when you're trying to do things quickly. And Moustache Mountain versus the grizzled young veterans of Zach Gibson and James Drake. He's got his own face on his arse, and he takes his shoes off if you hate Gibson. I don't hate Gibson. I want one of his t-shirts. I think they're really cool. Moustache Mountain, I want one of their towels to take to the gym. It's got a moustache on it. It's brilliant. So if you're watching this, guys, send me some stuff. I'd love to wear it on the channel. Not that you're going to, but it's always worth a try. Anyway, Grizzled Young Veterans get on top in this match really early. In the early part, isolating Trent Seven as the weaker link with his knee problems and things. You don't want to get Tyler Bate in. He's got more energy. He's a bit stronger, and yeah, it's a bit of a house of fire. Is Tyler Bate. Anyway, double Hurricane Rana after Trent Seven gets the tag to Tyler Bate. Double Hurricane Runner from Tyler Bate to the Grizzled Young Veterans. He takes them out. He does follow this up with a flying, flying over the top rope to take them out. And it is this point where they use this momentum, the Grizzled Young Veterans, to take out Tyler Bate. There is a double team powerbomb, but Moustache Mountain is distracted by James Drake being on the outside of the ring, and this is where the Grizzled Young Veterans hit an assisted ticket to ride, which is hit on Seven, who kicks out. Super kick, neck breaker is hit next. From the Grizzled Young Veterans, a 7-star lariat out of nowhere by Trent Seven takes out Zach Gibson, and a tag takes out James Drake, and a tag to Gibson. Gibson used as a table this time into a burning hammer. Sets up on the turnbuckle. Tyler Bate stands on him, hits a diving headbutt on James Drake, but after hitting the diving headbutt, Drake is dropped into a burning hammer. Actually, it is Gibson that's dropped into a burning hammer, and they're very close to winning. Another near fall, and they know that one more high octane double team move would get them the victory and the tag team championships. It is here where we see Imperium again, getting a bit boring now. I've said this in previous weeks. I'm liking Imperium. I'm liking the way they're going about things. They interrupt things and they make things happen for themselves. But this match was fantastic. Are we ever going to get a straight tag team match for the tag team championships? Is that ever going to happen without Imperium coming down to interject themselves? Now, a better way of doing this, I'm not a writer for wrestling or anything else, I just know what I like as a wrestling fan, would be to let the match finish and then attack the champions. Now, I would have thought that perhaps Moustache Mountain would have picked the championships up at this point, 7 months down the line. I think it's about time for a bit of a change there in the tag team division. And then attack Moustache Mountain. Make your intentions clear. Don't attack them when they're not the champions, because that doesn't work. That means you're not going to get a championship match. If you attack the champions, they're probably going to retaliate, and they're probably going to say, we want a match against you, we'll put the tag team championships on the line, and then you can go and take them. Anyway, Moustache Mountain win via disqualification. The Grizzled Young Veterans keep the championship belts because of the disqualification, and Imperium handcuff Trent Seven to the ring and powerbomb Tyler Bate 3 times, no less. Twice on the apron and once into the post, leaving Tyler Bate on the floor, basically passed out. He's been taken out, and Imperium stand tall once again. They weren't involved in this match, but they wanted to be. So maybe that will lead to a number 1 contendership match officially, and then there'll be some kind of stipulation put in place. Maybe a triple threat match even would be really cool. Maybe triple threat ladder match for NXT UK Takeover in Cardiff. Of August. Yeah, bit of a weird show, this one. The main event was really good up to the point where Imperium interjected themselves. The first match was interesting because it just happened straight away. There was no sort of build up for it, and the 2 squash matches in between were, I suppose, necessary, but you know, that's just me. I don't mind squash matches if they prove to have a point, but that's taking it down a star for me, and the ending has possibly taken it down a star as well. So I'm going to give this 3 out of 5 stars for the rating, and yeah, I'm a bit yeah. But anyway, we're going to go into the outro now, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this show. So final thoughts, I've already given you my star rating. I've given it a 3 out of 5 for episode number 50. We've got some great matches coming up in the next couple of weeks. We've got some on NXT UK. We've got some wrestling to go and watch. First wrestling in July is WrestleGate, with Frontline being the afternoon show, and that is at Rushcliffe Arena. If you want to go and check out where we're going throughout the whole of July, hit the blog spot up. It is cheapshotentertainment.blogspot.co.uk for that, and I've given you a list of everywhere we're going, including links on where to get your tickets. So WrestleGate was where Hangman Page was the surprise entry against Pac, and they had a main event match at the last WrestleGate show, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this one. A bit more expensive than the last time we went, but it is good quality wrestling, so what can how can you complain about that? We've got 2 shows for 30 quid, and possibly a free meet and greet, because we purchased the tickets for the first show before they offered the 50% off, and it is 50% off now for Frontline Wrestling. So if you're in the local area, get your tickets at WrestleGate.com. Anyway, interesting show, moves storylines forward. I don't think it's been the best. It was the best show. I think there's probably saving that for the 1 year anniversary in 2 years time. In 2 shows time, I think that's going to be the real big payoff here for NXT UK. But it remains interesting, and I will continue doing the videos until at least that point, and maybe up to NXT Takeover, just to keep you in the loop of what's happening and everything. And just, I like doing these videos. They're the only ones that I do on a regular basis, because I never know where I'm going to be. So yeah, that's your NXT UK episode number 50 review for you, and everything that happened during that show. So you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. You can also go to the blog spot at cheapshotentertainment.blogspot.co.uk to find out where we're going throughout the whole of the month of July. And yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and join us for the next video. And I will say goodbye to you. You are the Cheap Shot Nation. We thank you very much for watching. I have been your host, Luke, and you have been watching Cheap Shot Entertainment on YouTube. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.